Welcome back, Truth Seekers. I am, as always, Paranormal Ripples, aka Ray, and you're watching the Conspiracy Nexus. This is episode number 28, and this is this series where I don't just scratch at the surface of conspiracies, I excavate them. And I'm venturing again beneath the streets of London, and I'm going to be talking about a mystery that runs deeper than the London Underground. Of course. And we know how long that's been around. Basically, it's about what isn't on a map that you see when you go into a major train station like King's Cross, or basically, there's an hidden network of tunnels apparently that runs through London, which are like reserved for the elite amongst us, and that's their evacuation network. So as always, hit that like button, subscribe, awaken the algorithmic spirits, as it says there, and turn the notification bell on. So basically, let's start tunneling at this theory, shall we? And let me know your thoughts and theories. So, what do we know about this elite evacuation network, gang, everyone? Well, basically, legend states, wherever you go into the shady parts of London, that London has always operated on two maps. The ones that you get at the train stations, like King's Cross, St. Pancras, and that you use to get around places, or like London Underground places, and that. The stations, basically. And the other ones that you're never supposed to see, and that this forbidden map, as some would call it, basically shows hidden corridors and platforms that are off the books, so to speak, like some that you don't even know exist. And that's because these connect I values sites from like the government, like 10 Downing Street, Houses of Parliament, even MI5 and MI6 are on there. Even Buckingham Palace, I've heard rumours that there's a tunnel under Buckingham Palace to get the king out when if anything should happen. But according to some people that I've said about this theory, so I've been like delving into it most of the day, and hence why I'm late going live, everyone. In the wake of the Blitz, and the growing threat of nuclear war when the Cold War broke out, the government, our British government, basically decided to expand secret transit routes beneath our city, our capital city, to ensure the safety and mobility of top government officials, or top officials like the king, obviously, and these routes would allow emergency escape, discreet travel, and even pose like communications away from public high. So could you imagine, like, say you're I'm not going to say the king here. So imagine you're the prime minister, and you get told, right, in like say it's 30 seconds to go, and then you hear like the sirens, like the war's going to break out. What you're going to do? They need to get you out quick, and if it's nuclear, they're going to need to get you out like that, so you're not underneath. Like, but what place to do better than go into a like secret facility that is underground, and where better to have it? Downing Street. So let me know what you think, everyone. So what makes this myth more or conspiracy more believable is how often you hear similar names on these routes, like on these things, like Down Street, like Downing Street, Brompton Road, and deep level shelters like Clapham and Good Street. Obviously, if you don't know about shelters, there's a shelter, I believe, if I remember correctly, near fucking Clapham. Hang on, let's see if I can find it for you, everyone. Where are we? Hello everyone who's just tuning in or go watching on catch up. Basically, I'll be heading live again after this to a gaming live, so be sure to catch me. But yeah, share screen so you know what we're looking at here, everyone. Boom, 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 boom. This is the Stockwell nuclear bunker or shelter, and basically this right here. That right there is the reason why people blooming question stuff. So that is you can see that plain as day. Yeah, it's been decorated and everything, but you can see that plain as day. Right? They're abandoned now, but they were like for World War II. But they got turned into like they say that it's going to turn into a nuclear bunker, which is even more nuts. But yeah, it wouldn't like be like how can I put it? It wouldn't be first time stuff like that's happened. And Good Street obviously has one. There are places with restricted access and that. There's no cameras around, and the level of secrecy that smells like more than just forgotten history. That little pun there, but honestly though, bunkers, right? So obviously they're there, you know, which is crazy, right? Good, like I said, Good Street has one as well, and I'll tell you and I'll show you the Good Street one now. No, get ready, everyone. I'm going to show you Good Street now. Right, share my screen. From the screen to the ring to the cam. Joking. But anyway, sorry, KSI. But yeah, that is Good Street's bunker. As you can tell, it's similar, like not similar in shape, obviously, to Stockwell's, but you can see the design and what it could be used for if there's something underground, and you know. So that's like, so we've got Good Street and Stockwell, which is crazy. So why are they still around? People think that nowadays they're going to be used at key moments. So let's go down and let's talk about Down Street. Right, Down Street Station. Often when conspiracies are talked about, Down Street basically is like Downing Street. You look at it and you go, "There's more than meets the eye here." So Down Street often it was officially decommissioned in the year 1932. But it re-emerged during World War II when Winston Churchill and the War Cabinet used it as a bunker. And theorists argue that it's not still more than a relic, and there's an active covert network under there. Basically, there are hidden staircases in Down Street, shielded doors, obviously, access points that don't even appear on public blueprints. And it's rumored that it connects directly through service tunnels to Whitehall. Yes, Whitehall. So it allows a rapid emergency transport of key personnel from Whitehall to there and vice versa. And maintenance staff, right, over the decades, described being redirected or denied access to parts of the station for security reasons. And then obviously there's a question that no one in authority ever wants to answer at the time. So, if this was used by Winston Churchill in the 1940s for escapes, like when World War II and when the Blitz and all that was going off, what happened to those tunnels after the war? Was they sealed up again and were decommissioned again, or was they upgraded to a new kind of security? Because it's kind of interesting, isn't it, that these service tunnels don't show up anywhere, and if you're in the government and you get told that basically each security personnel, or the Prime Minister's security personnel would know. I presume a lot of people would know. They were close, like the Prime Minister's aides, maybe even a deputy Prime Minister could use it, you presume. So now we're going from government to another one that is perplexing. So the Post Office Railway, or the London Post Office Railway to be precise, known also as the name Mail Rail. Sounds like the name of a fucking stripper. I'm joking, everyone. It's another overlooked piece of this tremendous conspiracy theory puzzle. It was originally built to shuttle letters between sorting offices, right? It ran silently under the streets of London and under the city for nearly 80 years. Then suddenly, in 2003, it got decommissioned. But people believe that these conspiracies, the people that believe this conspiracy, I'll say, that only part of it was shut down. And some say that select lines were even rerouted to elsewhere or upgraded, and they were outfitted with reinforced sections to make it look like better, discrete stations, not intended for mail purposes at all, but for people. And basically, these are for people with eye-level clearancing. So, like, you're like government agents, stuff like that. Like security personnel. I think I'm like general, like military, like, you know what I mean. So, Ministry of Defence people. That's what I'm getting at. So, certain branches of the mail rail, there's been whispers to that people have said, now lead directly to secured facilities, including a deep-level Ministry of Defence outpost, like I just said, and even bunkers for the government. But who's using them, and what kind of operations are taking place on a track that most Londoners never ever see now, or have never seen? Because I presume a couple of Londoners have seen it if they've worked on the postal route. So I'm not saying all Londoners. So the majority of Londoners. It's crazy, isn't it? So let me know what you think there, everyone. Now, I've looked through forums online, Reddit posts, and threads. Even listened to some like interviews on not on YouTube, on Daily Motion, and a few other places. But with like retired London Underground stuff. But one story always persists along there. People have seen sealed tunnels that aren't documented anywhere. Others have even reported being escorted out of stations during late night maintenance windows for no reason whatsoever. And one former engineer, I saw this post on Reddit, and that it was anonymous, and he said he was just a former engineer on the train lines. He claimed that he once saw what looked like a miniature transit system inside a disused section of the Bakerloo line. I mean, if you don't know the Bakerloo line, I'd suggest looking it up and where it stops and what their stops are and where the disused bit is. Because I looked earlier and I was mind. But he described also that security personnel was around. There's no markings or whatsoever. Trains didn't appear on any record anywhere. And when he brought it up, within the week, he brought it up to his higher ups. he got moved to another job. But this is where it gets even more crazy. Multiple requests about the use of those tunnels. All right, more freedom of information record, multiple freedom of information requests, I should say, about the use of these tunnels have always been blocked or returned with generic responses just saying, can't go into them, they're national security. So then why is all the silence happening and there's nothing, if there's nothing to hide from them? Why are they going, oh shit, we need to keep it hidden? You know? Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the chat if you're watching live or in the comments. And make sure you're liking, subscribing, turning the notification bell on, sharing, all that good shiz. Now, we're going to go back to Clapham South, Goode Street, and to some other places now. So, the deep level shelters around London were built during World War II, as I've established. They were to house thousands during the Blitz, an infamous period in our history, but we fought through it with pure grit and determination. But now, only a few of them are publicly accessible, right? The rest are off limits, guarded, and reportedly still in use by people. Many have believed that these were never meant to be temporary, these shelters. And after the war, they were always quietly being upgraded to be repurposed to a secure command post or nodes in a wider grid of the underground. And there's also some that have said that some of the tunnels have been reinforced with concrete, connecting them to other secure buildings around the city. And you can find pictures of these shells online, but the entrances often don't match the old maps, which is crazy. There's like elevators that have been sealed, doorways have been bricked up, and even in some cases, entranceways are disguised, right? This is the crazy bit. Inside every London building, like I've said, and there's CCTV security, and that seems a bit heavy for fucking old bunkers. But yeah, they're disguised inside every London building, apparently. Inside everyday London buildings, apparently. So you could go into an office, and it could be behind a I don't know, a book, like a bookshelf, but like a filing cabinet, kind of say. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So how far does it go, this network, supposedly? Well, this is where it'll start to sound a bit like sci-fi or spy fiction or whatever you want to say. But some of this all checks out. Right. People that believe this conspiracy, right, and I'll tell you if I believe it at the end of this video, obviously, there may be a central command hub located beneath Westminster, yes, government, or beneath another government place, Whitehall. So a place where classified operations can be launched, top officials to get moved rapidly, like in times of need. But this is where it gets crazy. If that hub exists, it would need a multi-layered transport system, which is just that doesn't even have tunnels. No, it doesn't include just tunnels. There would be service lifts, air filtration to make it breathable down there, communication blackouts. But engineers that have also gone on Reddit posts and communicated with people have spoken that when they've been working for the Crossrail, that there's been sensitive detours that their projects had to avoid. So they were working on rails and they were near a area that would have been a sensitive detour, they would have had to avoid it. So you couldn't go that way down a sensitive detour route, you'd have to avoid it. So basically, the whole line up that way is blacked out or wherever, like because the lights weren't working or whatever. No, you can't fix it. No, they'll do it themselves, the government or whatever. So, what else is it? What else is hidden beneath us that construction crews can't even touch? Right. So there's a strange kind of fear, though, if you're thinking about it, that it's tied to hidden infrastructure in a city like London. It creates a sense that when you're walking on the city and you don't know all of it, what else could be hiding in plain sight? And that's why many urban legends are born. And so, if you can move government officials unseen, right, protect secrets beneath the public's eye, maintain a total information blackout so no one knows anything, then you control everything basically. Because it plays into the classic "you need to know" thing. You don't need it all to be out there, but you just need to know the basic stuff. So, secrecy rules all, not public safety. So, layered with war, bureaucracy, history, London is a perfect place, really, if you think about it, to hide stuff like that in plain sight. Because no one would suspect anything. There's always, like, if you're going on a, like, I don't know how to put it. Names of, when you're going on like a London dungeon tour, you'd go around there and then you'd come out and you'd be like, oh, I'm so glad there's nothing like that around nowadays. So you wouldn't really think about it, would you? So, now, if you're going to look at it from the other point of view, not the conspiracist point of view, the fact-checking point of view, and if you're looking at it from a skeptical point of view, right? Some sealed stations were just simply too expensive to handle or maintain. And or some of them didn't have enough foot traffic throughout the time they were used. So they thought, oh, we'll close it down and it wouldn't be wide. So Down Street was, like I said, was a one, but it was only used by Churchill and it was only temporary. Rail tours are now open to the public and some parts are inaccessible, but there's no proof, obviously, from that point of view that there's stuff being used for covert operations. But look at it this way. The government has already an history of secrecy. Because if you think about it, when I talked about my other thing the other day, my other conspiracy nexus, well, I talked about the poison labs down in the underground, and then they put that filthy, like, invisible gas through the underground. What tells you what's there to tell you that they're not doing this like stuff as well? So let me know what you think, whether you believe that there's a secret evacuation system beneath London, or just a paranoia from the end of a war and it's gone down from generations. One thing is clear though, London hides its secrets very well, and sometimes what we don't see is more powerful than what we do see. So, if you've ever heard a rumor, seen a sealed tunnel, or you know someone with a story to tell, please reach out to me. You never know what whispered secret or could be the next buried truth in the matter. And if this theory is real, then it's basically only a matter of time before it comes to light. I'm gonna say, before I close it off, that this is highly plausible. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 on the plausibility scale. So let me know what you think in the comments. You'll give me a rating on your thing of what you think. Can you give it a rating out of 10 or you give it a percentage out of 100%? And if you're enjoying this journey, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to me, Paranormal Ripples. Hit the notification bell so you never ever miss an episode of Conspiracy Nexus or any of my other shows. I will be back on again in about half an hour. Yeah, half an hour to do a gaming stream. And that, because so you'll be in for a treat there. But I will be back on again tomorrow with Secrets of the Stars. So make sure you catch up with whatever you don't see on my live tab. And yeah, I'd rather do these conspiracies with you guys than without you guys. So take care, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you all again later on. Take care, and bye for now.